So today we're installing some rear sensors on this Toyota Carolla. We've got 4 sensors here. You've got your control box, which all your sensors and power runs to. You've got your main switch to turn it on and off, and then you've got your little wiring kit here that you need to wire into power, ground, and your reverse lights, as well as a little squawker, hole saw, user manual, and some cable ties that basically just tie the whole loom together. Let's install this bad boy. So I'm measuring the height from the ground up to the sensors, so they need to be at 55 centimeters off the ground. So as long as our tape's around the 55 centimeter mark and nothing in the back behind the bumper protrudes close enough to the bumper that the sensors won't fit in, we'll put our sensors there. So now we've measured our marks for the outer sensors. We've gone 55 centimeters up and 13 centimeters in. We can do a quick double check that our measurements are even on each side by measuring the length from the light or a feature on the car that's the same on either side to the length of the middle of the mark. 7.5 centimeters. And if we go over here and do the same, those are the 2 types of clips you need to pull out. That around the guard and those around the bottom of the lip. Before you take the rear bar off the car, you just want to double check behind where you're putting it that there's no obstructions within about 5 centimeters, so we're all clear. This bar's got a lot of room behind it, so we're all good. Using a 10mm long socket, you just want to get all those bolts out that are holding the tail light in place. So we've got to measure from the outermost marks, and the distance between those 2 marks is divided by 3, and that's what we're going to mark for our sensors. So I've marked the bar 50 centimeters in and 50 centimeters in from the farthest outer sensors. And between those 2 lines is 50 centimeters also. So that means our sensors are evenly spaced and they're going to pick up the most widest coverage of possible intrusions behind the car. So now we've marked all the locations that we need to drill out the holes for the sensors. The drill piece hole saw attachment is the same size as the back of the sensors, so they're going to fit in perfectly. Don't try and use your own hole saw. Use the one that comes provided with the kit. This one is 21mm. Pushing inwards, you want to use a round-edged file to push out any bits of plastic that the drill left behind. So to help the sensors slip in, these are rubber, all these white tabs are little rubber things. Just going to put a little bit of tire shine on them. That'll help them slip straight in. So starting with the outer ones, the tail end of that wire through, and then just feed it through the back. We'll tidy all this up once all the 4 sensors are mounted, put some cable ties in so there's no wires hanging down off the back of the bumper. And that just helps it slip right in a lot easier, and it sits in nice and tight then, not going anywhere. So to make sure all these wires are nice and hidden, so this is the wire to get power and the trigger to the reverse light. That's our 12 volt power in, and you've got your reverse trigger and ground wire off this. This little guy on the end of that plugs into the module here, which controls our sensors and turns them on, and this little loop here just plugs in. What that allows us to have is a switch that turns these sensors on and off. We need to find somewhere we can mount our little module box inside the vehicle so that it's not affected by the weather. To find an empty cavity that's not being used that we can still access. So you want the plugs facing towards you, like so, and we'll screw that down and lock it in. We need to ground our earth wire. So luckily for us, we've already got the 10mm on our gun. So this is grounding it into the chassis of the car. We need to put a spade terminal on the end of that. Be right back. It's very thin wire, so double it over. Some people say double crimp, I like to triple crimp. Usually your reverse light's here, but in this case our reverse light is in the boot itself, so we're going to need to extend our trigger wire up to that. Going anywhere. So we're going to follow the existing wire that runs up this boot, and we'll cable tie that all in at the end to make it really nice. It's time to put this wire into this reverse light. So to test this, we're just going to put the car in reverse, and as we go in and out of reverse, this light should light up. That light's on, which means we've got a trigger for that reverse. So we notice that's our reverse wire that we're going to trigger off. The speaker box will be mounted in the back right hand corner here, so they can still hear it, but it's out of the way and out of sight. So we've made a hole in the middle of our grommet. get our bundle of sensor wiring, starting from the longest one. You want to feed that through. So now we've got our grommet. We'll feed all these wires into the boot. I'm going to put all this wiring in Coro so it looks nice and neat. So to test if they work, we're putting the car in reverse. We can hear the beeper. They're working, I believe. How close are you, Jason? How far away can we get?
About 1.5 metres.
They're all working?
Yep.
So that's how we installed the reverse sensors on a car, basically. Just how we've done it.